Hello,
Hello,
I'm Kimberly,
I'm Michael,
and welcome to Real Takes.
and Movie Breaks.
And today we are reviewing the film
Pacific Heights.
Pacific Heights.
This is part of a new series we're going to do for our channel called Retro View.
And Hidden Gems.
And the idea is to go back and rewatch some films that perhaps are a little more obscure, maybe wouldn't be as popular to do on a watch along, etc. But we're interested in kind of digging in and finding those hidden gems and then talking about them, reviewing them for people that maybe want to go check them out.
Yes, so these are going to be movies that I have not seen before, he has not seen before, or both of us haven't seen before, or maybe we have seen them, just it's been a really, really long time. So movies that were made in the 60s, 70s, 80s. This one was made in the 90s.
1990.
And it was funny. I think the reason we wanted to watch this was because we met Matthew Modine at our film festival screening. And so he was on our mind, and you told me about this movie. And when I first started watching the movie, I was just like, wow, this is way more entertaining than any modern movie I've seen in a while. Because so many modern films are so derivative and formulaic and predictable, and I get bored really easily with that. And this was something that the way it was made, I was like really just like into it.
The interesting thing about this movie, because it's a movie you really won't see nowadays.
Mm-hmm.
It has three very prolific movie stars that are kind of they're not older at this point. They're like kind of right in their sweet spot. You got Matthew Modine, you got Melanie Griffith, and Michael Keaton
Yeah.
as the bad guy.
And he makes such a good bad guy.
He's a great bad guy.
He's so bad, he's funny.
But he's also like not. He's kind of like, is he bad or is there something? What's going on? What's he up to? What is he doing?
He's like a funny bad guy.
It's funny. Yeah.
The way that he plays the character is like really funny to me. And he's kind of like a charming bad guy too, because he's so creepy and so calculative and manipulative. And it's like you're almost kind of like, ha, you know.
Exactly, and also, so the premise of the film is that,
And these are spoilers, right?
yeah. This couple buys a house in San Francisco, and they're going to rent it out to different tenants, the different rooms or whatever, and they get somebody who's a not so nice guy rent out their room, and he starts doing things that they just can't believe, and they're completely dumbfounded. He's not paying his rent, he's not doing things, and they're going to try to evict him. I was reading about this movie, and someone actually said at the time I don't think it got the best reviews, because I think all of them were coming off of big movies that they had done.
Yeah.
Matthew Modine had done Full Metal Jacket. Melanie Griffith had done Working Girl and some other films. Michael Keaton had a huge run where he did Batman and Beetlejuice, and then he does this, and it was kind of like people were expecting a certain, like, oh, this is going to be like, they're going to do this great movie, and it wasn't quite like great to the critics.
Yeah, to the critics. Yeah.
But in retrospect, looking back, it started a whole new genre of movie, which is the eviction thriller.
Yeah. And when I was watching this, I was just dumbfounded by how anyone could abuse those laws. How anyone could just show up at someone's house, claim ownership, and stay there until they could legally get an eviction. I was just so blown away by how this was legal and how crazy guy could actually like call the cops.
Pointy headed cretin.
Yeah. It was just
yeah, he was doing, he does all these things throughout the movie, and it actually works like a Hitchcock film. And then of course the ending of this film does kind of like go into
it too far.
Yeah.
So this is our spoiler review. So the way it ends is, Michael Keaton's character, he's doing everything he can to live, this newly couple, they get this new apartment to rent it out to try to make a profit, and then Michael Keaton's character moves in, and he locks the door and he doesn't pay rent and he basically swindles Matthew Modine's character. And they're drilling all the time in that room. Like, other people are like in and out of the room, and they're constantly like making loud noises and drilling. Michael Keaton's character deliberately puts roaches all over the apartment, so the other tenants have to leave. So Michael Keaton's character is just out to ruin these people's lives. And he's very manipulative, because he basically baits. Like, he's gaslighting Matthew Modine's character.
There's a lot of gaslighting
the whole time, and he baits him into snapping and assaulting him. His wife has a miscarriage, and then I can't remember the actual character name, but so finally they can evict this guy, and after they evict him, they realize that he's destroyed the apartment trying to sell.
He's like stolen all
furniture,
of the accessories,
the toilet,
Anyway, Melanie Griffith goes and she finds
she's the
him.
one who outwits him, and she finds him and notices that he's about to take advantage of this lady with money, pretending like he's in love with her to try to use her for money. And he's stolen our leading guy's credit cards and all of his information, and using his information, posing as this guy. And so Melanie Griffith's character, Patty, she shows up at his hotel, sneaks into his room, cancels all the credit cards, orders a bunch of food, and basically beats him at his own game. He goes to jail. And so we think that he's going to be stuck in jail, because then there's a scene where he's talking to this lady that he was about to swindle. Oh, these people, then
that's a great scene.
Yeah.
He's going all around this. He uses the entire space of that interrogation room.
Yeah.
And he just completely swindles her.
Yeah.
That whole thing was brilliant. That scene.
And he's trying to convince her to bail him out of jail, but you're not sure if she's buying it. And then it cuts, and they're like happy again in their home, and then you realize he did break out of jail. She bailed him out or whatever.
But why would he come to kill them?
To kill them for revenge.
He got out.
I thought would have been really funny is in that scene where he's like, he's like begging this lady, like, oh, this couple, they're liars, they're stealing from me, oh, they're crazy. What does your heart tell you? Just when I saw you. And he's so just trying to like smooth talk her, and then you see her look at him. I think it would have been funny if she had just been like, I don't buy it, and then walked away. And
that would be good, yeah.
And then he's in jail, and that's it. But then it went to like, okay, now he's gonna go murder them.
Well, here's the problem. Here's the problem. To have him go like murder them at the end, that just means he's a psychotic psychopath.
Yeah.
And I don't think that's what the character is. So it's not really consistent with the character. I feel like if he had gotten out of jail, he would have then gotten revenge on them by doing some other scam to basically hurt them.
Right.
He wouldn't
go kill them.
He wouldn't go kill them and risk going to jail for the rest of his life.
Right.
It's not consistent with the character.
It's not consistent with the character, because it would have been more interesting if he tried to con them.
They didn't have anywhere to go at that point, and they have to end the movie.
Yeah.
So at that point, I feel like they just had to like, all right, we're just gonna have him come over and try to get revenge, and then they're gonna act. They kill him by grabbing, like, Matthew Modine crawls under the crawl space, grabs his leg, she pushes him, he falls on like on a nail or something.
Crazy way that would probably never happen.
Yeah.
I thought the acting was great, the directing. I love how sort of simple the story was in some ways, and I love how the villain was also just so ridiculous. It was funny, and I like that it was a happy ending. I liked watching Matthew Modine's character just keep doing dumb things.
He's so dumb.
It was almost a comedy, and so I like that it made me laugh and it made me think, and it definitely elevated my awareness about the law and how anyone can abuse certain laws like that. I didn't know.
And I can just see that he and Melanie Griffith and Michael Keaton were just having a lot of fun shooting in that house. And that's the beautiful thing about this movie. The whole thing is at this house.
It's mostly one location.
It is a great genre of film that nobody does, the eviction thriller. They should bring it back. They should do this kind of thing. It doesn't have to be a horror movie. This isn't a horror movie. This is sort
or
of
psychological thriller, drama, comedy. Like
it's a psychological thriller, and it's also like you're watching a couple really break down, and they're good actors, so they really break down. So
and you're rooting for them, and you're happy when they, make up and live happily ever after. So, on a scale of 1 to 5, I would rate this like 4.5.
I'll give it a 4.
Yeah,
I'll give it a 4 because I don't like the ending. I definitely don't like the ending.
That's why I wouldn't give it a 5.
But yeah.
So comment below if you think they should bring back eviction thrillers. And comment below if you've seen this movie, what your thoughts are. I think it's really fun to kind of analyze these old films. So I'd love to hear your thoughts.
Feel free to comment below and name any other films that are like this.
Yeah.
And also other films that you would want to see us do for Retro View.
And Hidden Gems.
Hidden Gems.
All right. Thanks for watching, and stay real.
And have good takes.